We can go.
We're gone? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Sorry for our delay. We had really quite rare obstructive technical difficulties, but we're glad to be with you now. And wanting to talk in this time we have together on our first Sunday to talk a little bit about something that is very much in the air this time of year and very much needed at all times of year, and that's just kindness. Kindness, compassion, tenderness, loving attitude. I would even include in here, in this kind of cluster of hearty terms, an attitude of gratitude that perhaps we reflected on over Thanksgiving. Just feeling grateful. That probably helps us feel kind when we feel grateful. So, what is the weave? What are the factors, the attitudes, the characteristics? How do we weave together and build a kind, compassionate orientation that sustains us through times when, we don't feel so happy, we don't feel so good, we don't feel grateful. But still, how could we be kind? So the Buddhist traditions, and really all traditions, have a great deal to say about the value of kindness and compassion. And what I want to touch into today is specifically, how do we do this? Well, one thing that's important is to be inspired by kindness, by compassion, to reflect on the kindness that you've received. Whatever it was, sometimes a smile at the right moment, can change your day, can save your life sometimes. And knowing what that has meant to you is a very important knowing for developing your own compassion. Because really, we develop kindness and compassion out of what we understand through our own experience. Whatever kindness we can remember from our parents, from our family, from strangers, from our pets, anything that just kind of fuzzies up your heart. I think we all know that feeling. Some of us are defended against it or have been so disappointed that we no longer exactly hope for it. Nonetheless, one of the avenues to developing kindness and compassion is to touch into your own experience of what it feels like. What it feels like. You just take a moment now. Remember a moment when, maybe a little bird cuddled up to your chin, or a rabbit, or your daughter came running to you, or your mother or father held your hand at an important moment. It doesn't have to be some big theatrical event. It's something that just kind of calmed you down, made you feel seen, made you feel connected. And how did that feel? Well, knowing how that feels to us gives us a very clear incentive and incentive to want to offer it to others. And that was so good. I would like to be that. What this person, this being was for me, I want to be that to another being. Just because it's intrinsically rewarding. It's intrinsically rewarding because we ourselves know how important it is. So reflecting on, and not just thinking about and kind of ticking it off as an item of experience, but actually, giving ourselves some space to touch into that moment, what it felt like, how nice it was. Just easy, just simple, not complicated, not dramatic. Just life, just a sweet moment in life. So one thing we can definitely do to foster the strength of kindliness in ourselves is to reflect on, really honor, acknowledge the experiences of kindness we have had. Now, it could happen as you do this that you also feel that these moments are very rare, and there could be a sadness, there could be an anger kind of underneath. Why didn't I receive more of this? So that needs to be dealt with too, separately. Maybe we'll come back to that this morning, maybe next Sunday, but just to acknowledge that that can occur. Might not. Most likely, perhaps not, but it could. And if it does, then that's also part of what we are going to want to come to grips with in order to further our compassionate intention. We can strengthen our compassionate intention through what we might call reasons, or at least a certain kind of a cognitive support. Why? Well, actually, we need kindness and compassion to stay alive. If most people in this world weren't basically decent, we would fear being murdered every time we left our home. And there are places in the world where that ethos doesn't hold. War-torn areas, very difficult areas in our country, around the world, where you can't be sure you can walk outside and be safe. And why is that? It's because the basic network of human reciprocal kindness, or at least letting be-ness, has been broken. It's devastating. We wouldn't be alive today. The fact that we are sitting here and breathing means that there were many people who took care of us. At least one or two who paid enough attention to us that we survive. We have all received kindness. Maybe not enough for full, healthful, joyous living, but we've all received enough to live. And another thing is that we ourselves flourish when we feel seen, when there is kindness. What really makes kindness possible is not only, however, reflecting on our experience, important as that is, reflecting on our experience in two ways. I want to add one. I suggested we reflect on an experience to reflect that, oh, yes, it feels so good when somebody is even just a little bit of kind. Somebody offers you a piece of candy. Somebody holds a door open. You're staggered with packages. It's just, it feels good. It feels nourishing. It feels like we live in a world that is survivable, that is supporting us. So, knowing how that feels, we can make a certain move. We can learn and reflect that this which feels so good and important and really vital for me, other people feel the same way when they receive kindness. The Buddha famously said, when I think of all the beings throughout space, throughout the world, I realize, the Buddha said, that no one is dearer to me than myself. Yeah, he said that. And then went on to say, and in just precisely the same way does everyone hold themselves dear. So that means we take our experience as a teaching. I love kindness, yay! What does that tell us about the fellow next door, the friend, the stranger, even the enemy? They too need it and want it and benefit from it. So we think about our experience in this way. That's one area of reflection when it comes to sustaining kindliness and compassion. Now, when we receive kindness, what was the ambience of the person who offered it? Were they really, really tense? worried? Or were they kind of relaxed, just there and open? Kindness and compassion really is nourished by our own ability to chill, to be relaxed, to be at ease. And that's why in our practice, as we'll do at 11, as we always do, we start our practice by exhaling, settling into our seats, letting go of our tensions. And actually, as practitioners, we don't do this only because it's good for us, which it is. We do it also because it sets us up to have the possibility of offering some kind of nourishing support to someone else. Because we're relaxed, we're easy. We're not totally enmeshed in some issue, some problem that we're having to solve, although there may be problems that we have to solve in our lives for sure, but somehow we have a more spacious sensibility. That's what relaxation is. It's not that we can only relax when we've solved all the problems in our life. We just take space because we have to. We sleep, we nap, we watch TV. Or we just open ourselves up to the possibility of spaciousness, which is always available. The cage of our concerns grows a little more softened. So relaxation is really, really important as part of for all our practices. Just being easy. Yeah, the world is falling apart, but what can I do? Space is still here. The space of my being is still here. And why not fill it with kindness as much as possible? So there's relaxation. So there's reflecting on our experience of receiving kindness. There's learning from that how other people will also feel about kindness. There's becoming relaxed so that we have the possibility, first of all, that's a kindness to ourselves. And then having been kind to ourselves in this way, we can begin to feel kindly towards others. Being kind to ourselves, against what might seem to be the case, does not contradict it by wanting to be kind to others. Actually, it starts. The way we treat ourselves, if you look into it closely, is usually a pretty strong indicator of how we treat others. We're very harsh with others. It's likely we're also harsh to ourselves. If someone who is harsh to you, who seems untouchable, unreachable, unapproachable, too fiery, too critical, you might not like being around them. And what do you think that is like for them? So we relax. That's a kindness to ourselves. Paying attention and offering kindness to ourselves becomes really how we treat ourselves ultimately is the model for how we treat others. We don't usually realize that. But think about it if it's true for you. You can be kind to yourself, you can tolerate being kind to others. If you can tolerate your own, let's say, failings, and not jump all over yourself and hate yourself because you screwed up in some way, as everyone does, what do you think? Is that going to make it easier for you to be more kindly to other people when they screw up? I think so. So relaxing, being kind to ourselves. Maybe we did something even really terrible. Let's regret it. Let's promise never to do it again. Let's move on. Not get caught in a cycle of judgment. Bad, 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 bad. That doesn't do anything for anybody. I did something wrong. I'll make it up as much as I can. What else can I do? So we've had our experience, learning from our experience, relaxing, being kind to ourselves, kind in the sense of relaxing, kind in the sense of relaxing judgment also regarding our failings. And we could say a sixth thing, very much talked about in this tradition, these traditions, is feeling close to others. Feeling close, not alien from others, helps us feel kind. So how do we develop a sense of closeness? Well, we've actually already started in what we have talked about so far. We have reflected that other people also enjoy kindness. Well, that's a sense of connection. Oh, you would probably like it if I held the door open while you're carrying packages. Or didn't blow up when you blew your stack about something or other. You just listened. You said, oh, I'm sorry. That's difficult. Other people's anger triggers our anger often. And why should that be? We can have more tolerance for it when we recognize, oh yeah, I've been there. I've been just as angry and nasty as this person feels right now. They're kind of out of control right now. I've been that way. I've been there. I know what it's like. What helps me? When I'm really, really just angry, just beset, just fed up, and somebody just gives me space. Well, I get it. You're really angry. Yeah, I hear. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm not pouring fire, not pouring oil on the flame. Conversations, you'll have to adjust this. This is, right, how you deal with somebody who's angry. Sometimes you have to get out of the way. But the cultivation of kindness is furthered when we recognize that this person who is so angry is not alien. I know what it's like to be angry. I know it means you're just off your game in some way. And so I can still see this person as somebody I have kindly attitude toward. Not get angry at them for being angry. Or I can recognize that just as much as I love blue sky and clear, cool weather, everybody else does. I like to eat, everybody likes to eat. Fundamentally, I like to have what I like, and others do too. That's why do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because we all have this profound need for kindness. So I leave you with those thoughts, each one of them something that you could reflect on in your own way, in your own experience. We'll take a break. We'll come back and cultivate some sense of relaxation and kindness and spaciousness to yourself. It's also the starting place for developing kindness. Thanks for being with us for this first Sunday. Take a break. 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes?
A few minutes.
A few minutes.